Gold and precious metals, are they something that should belong into your portfolio? Yes or no? It's basically finishing this entire series of non-crypto investments. Let's take a deeper dive into those. Hey and welcome to today's video. My name is Julian. On this channel, it's all about making you crypto fit. So that means we discuss the beautiful world of decentralization, blockchain, cryptocurrencies, most of all Bitcoin. But every once in a while, we talk about non-crypto investments. I feel especially when you talk about crypto, you need to talk about investing and you need to talk about all the other options that are out there. So it's just really, really important to kind of have a good overview and keep stuff in place and understand the ratio of all of those. If you're quite new to my channel, then do me a quick favor, click the subscribe button and click the bell icon to be notified next time I'm going live or we do a video. Generally, we talk about blockchain and crypto, and there's a lot of value in those videos, so you don't want to miss any of those. Today, I want to talk about precious metals and gold, and tablet ready, and we're gonna take a dive there in order to kind of have an idea on what are we talking about. So when we talk about gold and precious metal in general, then obviously we have different types of opinions when it comes to all that. Generally speaking, we have the Warren Buffett type. Buffett, who doesn't like gold, he doesn't like Bitcoin, he says no to gold and precious metals. And I respect his opinion. I understand where this is coming from. I understand that for him, this is kind of a dead rock. This is kind of useless and worthless. And if you want, let me know in the comments, what do you think about it? Are you generally a yes or no person? The other philosophy, and that's actually the philosophy that I buy a bit more into, is the Ray Dalio philosophy, who says yes, and you use this as diversification. So you're not the gold bug who goes and just invests a lot of money in gold, and basically that's all you ever do and that's all you ever invest in, but you kind of have a bit of a diversification. You try to have a healthy kind of mix in all that. Ray Dalio, in his all-weather portfolio, recommends 7.5%. And so when I kind of look at all those, what I try to do is I try to look a bit at the market sentiment, and then I kind of either increase my gold in relationship to the other kind of investments, or I increase it. So, but I try to stay around this 7.5%. So generally speaking, I have around 5 to 10% of my net worth in gold. At the moment, I'm more on the higher side, and the reason is simple, because I just don't find any other good places where to put cash into. So at the moment, my two favorite investments are Bitcoin and gold. I've been kind of preaching this for the past 2 years, or maybe not exactly 2 years, but I would say 1.5 years. I think it's been really, really fantastic around 2018 all the way until now. And I think if you have been listening, you have been making some serious returns. Gold's been up insanely. Bitcoin's been up insanely. So as a whole, this really kind of makes a lot of sense. So now the only question is, right, should you have anything else than gold, right? Should you have silver? Should you have platinum? Should you have palladium, or and so on? And to me, I do have some silver, but generally speaking, I'm not so much the diversifier in this sense. To me, silver and all the others are kind of side games. I mean, the big game is played in gold. Yes, I understand. A lot of people always come to me and say, but you can make so much better returns in silver. I understand, but I'm happy with the returns of gold. And I don't need to have the extra volatility. I don't need to have the extra uncertainty. I don't need all of these other kind of terms, and I don't need all the other kind of things. So for me, I have maybe out of the entire thing here, I have less than 5% of precious metals in this, and the remainder is in gold. Udit here writes a very good question. Don't you feel land is more precious? Yes, and I buy land and I buy real estate, but to me it's all about diversification, right? Land and real estate has its merits. It can be really good. At the moment, in many places, I feel it's overvalued. So I'm waiting. Maybe the coronavirus hits some of those areas, and I'm staying vigilant. I'm staying there and I'm watching, and then I'll snatch the right places. But I think especially in times like these, a lot of uncertainty, gold has been shown to be the safe haven, and I understand where all this diversification here is coming from. And that's all I'm kind of doing here. I'm not going more into gold than, for example, 10%. So obviously the question is, so here's how much. This is what. And now obviously, how do I buy this gold, right? And here you have different options. Majority of my gold is in ETFs. The reason is very simple. I have a small fee, but in return, I don't have to deal with all the storing of gold. I use ETFs that are stored in very secure countries. So you have to do your own due diligence and you have to do your own research there. I cannot advise you what kind of ETFs to buy. But you just want to be really vigilant and you kind of want to pay attention to those. An option is to buy gold one time there or on a regular basis. I actually like buying gold on an average basis, on a dollar cost averaging basis. I think that makes a lot of sense and I think that works quite well. But so a lot of it is in ETF, and I actually like coins. Coins are a very, very small part. So probably out of all the gold, I have less than 10% here in coins. The majority, so let's say it's around 85% is in here, and then 5% is in other precious metals. And the reason I like those coins is, well, because they are really nice gifts. I still remember the very first time I got a coin from my grandma. Man, this was special, and maybe, in the future, when I have kids, I can give them a coin. I think this is so, so cool. Yeah, and personally, I don't believe much in gold actually running around, paying in gold. I think when you are at this level where no one takes dollars anymore, no one takes euros anymore, you don't need gold. You need weapons, you need water, you need a totally different set of things than you might think. So I'm not a big believer in running around with your gold. I really believe when shit comes to shit, you need different things. Yeah, so I think that's kind of a key here. So I store this more in that sense. So obviously the last question is, what's my price target on all this? I don't have one. To me, I'm actually not intending on selling gold. Again, I try to keep it as this net between 5 to 10%. So I either buy more of it or I buy less of it, depending on the other assets. For example, let's say gold gets very, very expensive. I would probably just stop buying new. I would not sure if I would sell gold, even if it would go to, let's say, $3,000-$4,000 an ounce right now. I'm not 100% sure if I actually would start selling because I think gold is this really, really long play. I'm not expecting, this is also important, I'm not expecting gold to outperform inflation. Actually, it's also very, very interesting. Real estate, generally speaking, does not outperform inflation. Gold, very, very similar. Obviously, the advantage of real estate is that you also get rental income. So that's why, generally speaking, I have less of my net worth in gold. But it's a nice diversifier. Works on different kind of aspects, and it's way more global, right? Real estate is very local, so that kind of works. So these are my thoughts on gold and precious metal. I hope I'm kind of giving you a bit of an insight on how I deal with this, what I see with this. I think gold and Bitcoin are going to be doing really, really well. We're recording this end of February 2020. So I think over the next couple of months and years, I think it's going to do really, really well. And yeah, Sebastian here writes, buy gold physically and some gold mine shares. So this is also interesting. Gold mine shares have been underperforming gold consistently. The reason is very simple, because most of those mining companies are being run very poorly. So that's why I don't own any mining companies. Land cannot be created nor destroyed. Land has a building on land is like mining. Udit, I partly disagree. Land has a lot to do with how the local economy is doing, how the local environment is doing. It's very susceptible, for example, to local influx, to wars, to economic disruptions. And I get it. Many, many people believe their area, their country will never experience this. Everything goes in cycles. So I will never put all my eggs in one basket. You can, I don't. So I respect your opinion on land having a fixed supply, and I get that. I do own real estate, and I like real estate, but I would never put all my eggs in real estate. Yeah. So with this, thank you so much for watching. I hope you share this, like this, and you follow us for next.